Welcome to the final Razorback Reels of 2023. I'm Konner Marsh.
And I'm Gigi Kraemer. Thank you for joining us for our finale. Today is a national holiday for every music lover everywhere. Spotify and Apple Music released their end-of-year recaps. The recaps, called Wrapped and Replay respectively, recount your top artists of the year, and of course, we'll be covering our top 5 artists. Okay, so my top artist 2 years in a row, very unsurprisingly, was Mitski. And I think it's funny because you'll look right here, she is twice the amount of Taylor. But I was really surprised that Twice made it into my top 5. I'm more of like a new fan, and so seeing that they made it so high up was definitely a surprise. And Biba Doobie, no surprise, I knew she'd be up there. She was my top album of the year. Go listen to Beatopia. What about you, Konner?
I was pretty pleasantly surprised and happy with my picks. As a number 1, that's definitely SOS has been on replay all year. Lil Yachty at number 2, his album Let's Start Here was on replay. Kali Uchis again, and her boyfriend Don Tolliver. I was really happy with these picks. I was not happy last year, so I'm happy. Well, while one artist didn't make either of our recaps this year, she is making headlines. Sabrina Carpenter is facing backlash for filming in a Catholic church for a music video for Feather. Gigi, do you think Sabrina's in the wrong, or is the church overreacting here?
I think the main concern was with her outfit being revealing, but she wasn't, I don't think, doing anything disrespectful to the actual church. She was just dancing around. So I think it's another case of just the church feuding with pop stars. I know a lot of people said pop is back because Katy Perry had an incident with some nuns a few years back.
Yep.
So Sabrina's.
Yeah, and back in the day, Britney Spears had everybody in a frenzy at all points. So I'm here for it. Sabrina also had a funny comeback. She said that they got permission before and that Jesus was a carpenter. So he definitely was.
All right, while Sabrina's making waves for her scandalous looks, one man is being praised for his. People's 2023 choice for the sexiest man alive is Patrick Dempsey. Konner, what do you think about this choice?
Don't really have much to say here. Patrick Dempsey is good in Grey's Anatomy, so.
Yeah, I think it's been weird. It's the year of like Pedro Pascal, Josh Hutcherson. I know he's more recent, but Patrick Dempsey felt a little out of left field.
Yeah, he hasn't really been in my circle. I don't really know that he's been that relevant. So
yeah,
it almost just feels like they're saying sorry for not giving it to him a while ago.
Yeah, it felt very random, but I guess we'll just have to see next year what that brings. For the final time this year, we have our segment Winners and Losers.
Our in-studio reporters break down who's on top and who's in their flop era each week. Razorback Reels reporter Alyssa Coleman is here with the weekly breakdown.
Good evening, Razorbacks, and welcome back to Winners and Losers. Let's get into this week's celebrity updates. Our first loser this week is awarded to 28-year-old comedian Matt Rife. Rife is facing some serious backlash after his stand-up comedy special called Natural Selection made its debut on Netflix. Matt's opening segment to the show including a joke surrounding domestic violence, but fans were not amused. The unsavory joke created discourse about his credibility as a comic, and in retaliation, Rife took to Instagram to issue an apology. Matt dug himself into a deeper hole when this apology turned out to be a ploy, encouraging offended fans to click a page that displayed special needs helmets. It goes without saying that mocking his fan base and special needs was not the way to respond. Matt is not doing himself any favors here, and it's no question that he's on our loser list this week. Our last loser of the fall semester is Jared Leto. With a long line of questionable behavior, Jared Leto is currently in the spotlight for something outside of his usual career objectives, climbing the Empire State Building. He pulled the stunt in an effort to promote his upcoming tour with his band 30 Seconds to Mars. While being the first person to legally scale the Empire State Building seems cool, the glory is being overshadowed as fans are discussing Leto's less than shining past. The celebrity is accused of inappropriate behavior with coworkers and other figures in the industry, and some of which is attributed to his habit of method acting for his movies. While he denied these allegations, it seems that climbing the Empire State Building turned out to be a flop for Leto. On a brighter note, let's talk celebrity wins. Our first winner of the night is the one, the only, Dolly Parton. The queen of country music made everyone's holiday magical with her halftime performance at the Dallas Cowboys Thanksgiving game last week. The 77-year-old rock star performed some of her most iconic hits, all while wearing a Cowboys cheerleader-inspired outfit. It's easy to say that she stole the show and the hearts of everyone in the stadium. Outside of being a true icon in the music industry, Dolly's winning qualities have led her to creating opportunities and giving back to her community. The star has donated millions of dollars to various charities and established several fundraisers. It's no question that Dolly Parton is a winner. Between looking that good at 77 and her unmatched charitable efforts, she couldn't lose. To close out this semester of Reels, our last winner of the evening is Margot Robbie. The superstar has had quite the year, earning the admiration of millions of fans for her performance in mega hit movie Barbie. Margot Robbie is also shining behind the camera, as this month marked the debut of a movie she helped produce, Saltburn. The psychological thriller is in theaters now, and so far has received positive feedback from fans. Beyond being praised for her talent on screen, Margot is also running her own production company, Lucky Chap Entertainment. According to Margot, the company aims to project the voices of women in film, from directors to producers to writers and everything in between. As far as I'm concerned, she's a winner. Razorbacks, it's been a joy to be one of your reporters for Reels this semester. Stay tuned for more awesome segments when we make our return in January. Wishing you a safe and happy holidays, I'm Alyssa Coleman.
Thanks, Alyssa, for that recap of the heroes and villains of the entertainment world this week. Gigi, how do we feel about our losers?
Oh, I'm going to have to give the biggest loser to Matt Rife.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was really getting somewhere with his career, and now something like this, alienating your fan base, is just not the way to go, especially in such like a comedy. I feel like it's such like a personal, like it's not an interaction, but it's more like.
He also has like a majority women audience.
Yeah.
So I just don't know why. And the joke like wasn't that funny. Like women getting back in the kitchen jokes are just not.
It's tired.
Yeah. And for our winners, how about Dolly Parton on Thanksgiving?
Oh, for sure. We're a Cowboys family,
Yep.
so we were watching the game, and she got all our attention, and she can do no wrong in my eyes. While Reels will end before the holiday season, we'd be remiss to not talk about one star's impact on Christmas. Stay tuned to find out which icon we'll be covering next.
We hope you're still tuned in because our next segment, Hog Wild Harmonies, covers all things music.
From artists to albums, our in-studio reporters are here to break down the greatest hits. We have Noah Kim here to break down one of the most unlikely holiday artists.
The holiday season is upon us, Reels fanatics, and for this music segment, I'd be remiss not to report on a good collection of Christmas songs. But here on Reels, we're gonna be eclectic. We're gonna be ignoring talks of Mariah, Sinatra, Eartha, and Taylor, because tonight we'll be talking about Radrick Delantic Davis, aka Gucci Mane. Now, I bet you're asking me, why Gucci Mane, Noah? Well, little did you know, Mr. Mane has 5 whole Christmas albums. They're as follows: East Atlanta Santa, East Atlanta Santa 2, The Return of East Atlanta Santa, East Atlanta Santa 3, and So Icy Christmas. So quit your complaining, because I think it's safe to say that Gucci Mane is the type of person to put the Christmas decorations up before Thanksgiving turkey is even pulled out of the oven. But let's cut the dilly-dally and dive into how this trap music pioneer brought Yuletide cheer to Atlanta's very own Zone 6. Gucci Mane began building his Christmas brand with 2014's East Atlanta Santa. This album dropped on the Christmas of that year. Gucci Mane's interest in Christmas iconography is made immediately clear with this album. Snow, ice, and trees are all repeatedly referenced throughout this project. A personal highlight from this project had to be Go, in which Gucci Mane exclaims how cold he is 15 times throughout one song. All in all, Gucci marries the genres of Atlanta trap with Christmas carols in the best way that he can. But let's jump ahead to Gucci Mane's 4th Christmas album, East Atlanta Santa 3. Gucci Mane's holiday cheer is just infectious on this album, as a lot of these songs either sample or put a spin on old Christmas classics. The intro track, Jingle Bells, features a thumping piano beat seasoned by cheery sleigh bells and, of course, 808s. In this song, Gucci Mane claims to actually be Kris Kringle himself, and now our Reels correspondents are behind the scenes working hard to fact-check this claim, but if it's true, then a lot of companies are going to have to answer for their shameless whitewashing of a holiday icon. Throughout the album, Gucci Mane talks about the service he brings to Zone 6, and I think it's heartwarming, that below the gravitas and bravado, Gucci Mane is quite the giving man. Gucci Mane even mentions bringing snow to the residents of Atlanta, which is very nice of him since the Georgia climate is not very conducive for winter weather. Rappers like Travis Scott, Drake, Young Thug, and 21 Savage have all contributed to Gucci Mane's quest to bring Christmas into the modern rap scene. And although Mr. Maine has yet to announce another Christmas-themed project, he clearly still holds the holidays highly, as he never quits talking about the massive hordes of snow he has and how cold he is. But before I leave, total disclaimer, drugs are bad, try your best not to do them. Reporting for the last time this semester, I have been Noah Kim.
Thanks for introducing us to one of Christmas's biggest fans, Noah. What do you think about Gucci Mane's Christmas?
I have listened to East Atlanta Santa 2 before. I need to go and listen to all the Discog, but
Yeah.
I know So Icy 2 came out last year, so.
I'll have to go listen to it as well. I'm very much, I like to look for the more unusual Christmas albums.
Yeah.
I think the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack has a Christmas rap song, and it's
Yeah.
really fun, so I'll definitely be checking that out this holiday season.
Alrighty, well, Christmas may have some dedicated fans, but no one is more devoted than reality TV fans. After the break, we'll be diving into the world of Survivor, Season 45.
Welcome back to Razorback Reels. Nothing reflects the state of the world quite like reality TV, but let's be honest, there are too many shows to keep up with. How could we ever keep track of all the latest drama?
That's where our next Reels segment, Reality Recap, comes in. Our reporters break down their favorite shows, weekly updates, and this week we have Allie Holsted to recap Survivor.
Good evening, my name is Allie Holsted, and this is Reality Recap. Tonight we're going to shed light, we're going to light our torches and dive into the ever-changing world of Survivor 45. This season has been filled with ups and downs and has left me yelling at the TV more than once. We are nearing the end of this jam-packed season, so let's take a look about what has happened so far. Let's start at the beginning. Thanks to the decrease in scripted content due to the writer's strike, Survivor has space to move from 60 to 90-minute episodes. This lets us see more of the nitty-gritty of camp life, challenges, and strategy, but it also means the players are hit with even more twists and challenges. Now, this season has offered more than I can cover in just a few minutes, so I'm going to take you through a couple of main themes we have seen develop throughout this season. I want to start with the insane number of unanimous votes we have seen this season. Brandon and Brando were both taken out early by unanimous votes. Next, we have one of the craziest tribal councils we have seen in a long time. In episode 6, Caleb receives a unanimous vote that was null because he successfully pulled a safe shot in the dark. In episode 7, we saw a double elimination where both Sifu and Caleb were voted out unanimously. And last week in episode 9, we saw Kendra eliminated by all of her fellow players. I think it's safe to say that this cast votes as one, even if they don't necessarily play that way. Next, I want to talk about player dynamics this season. There are some strong feelings going every which way. Starting off the season, Emily attacked Bruce before they even got off the boat for being a returning player. We have seen a major character arc from her in the following episodes, though, and she has turned out to be one of my favorite players. Speaking of Bruce, Katurah hates him. Sometimes it's like her whole strategy is driven by her contempt for him. On the other hand, Caleb was loved by too many. As a businessman, his social game was just too strong, and unfortunately, his charm lost him the game. Lastly, I cannot talk about season 45 without talking about the auction. Yes, you heard me right, the auction is back. This came along with some new stipulations. Players had to search the camp for their money, meaning they didn't all start out with the same amount. There were also no advantages up for purchase. These layers were added after former players basically broke the auction. As an avid Survivor fan, I can say that I'm so excited to see the auction back again after 8 years. I cannot wait to see how the rest of the season will play out, but I'm sure it will go out with just as many crazy twists as the rest of the season has held. For Razorback Reels, I am Allie Holsted, and this was your Reality Recap.
What a crazy season on Survivor. Thanks, Allie, for recapping it for us. Now, Gigi, I know you don't really watch Survivor.
Not a ton.
I watched the first 2 episodes of this season, the 90-minute episodes, and I just don't think I'm that much of a fan of New Age Survivor, so I tuned out. Love seeing that Emily's still in the game, though. Also love to see the auction back.
As the year comes to an end, the movie industry is just getting started. After the break, we'll be discussing all the latest releases.
Welcome back to Razorback Reels. Hollywood wouldn't be the center of entertainment if it wasn't for the film industry.
Our segment, Hogging the Popcorn, covers the stars, crews, and studios that make the field famous. We have Olivas in studio to talk about all the new releases.
Welcome back to Hogging the Popcorn. The historic SAG-AFTRA actors strike finally came to an end on November 8th, just in time for the influx of the new movies hitting the theaters. On top of everyone's mind is the new Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Fans of the Hunger Games trilogy have been anticipating this movie ever since Suzanne Collins dropped the surprise prequel book back in 2020. The cast features some familiar big names like Peter Dinklage, Viola Davis, but the majority of the public is being introduced to the two main stars of the film, Rachel Zegler and Tom Blythe. Zegler previously played Maria in the newest adaptation of West Side Story back in 2021, while Blythe has had some considerable roles in British media. I have a feeling we'll be seeing much more of them in the future. Now, next on my list is Saltburn. Saltburn is a psychological thriller set in England that depicts what happens when an Oxford student accepts an invitation to stay at his wealthy classmate's estate for a whole summer. This film was written, directed, and produced by Emerald Fennell as her second project following her directorial debut, Promising Young Woman, which sold $18.9 million at the box office. And if you know me, you know I absolutely love psychological thrillers, especially when the leads are such eye candy like Barry Keoghan and Jacob Elordi. Once finals are over and I actually have time, I will be the first in line to see this movie. Next up, Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell star in a classic enemies to lovers rom-com, Anyone But You. This film has actually been caught up in quite a bit of controversy because the internet seems to think that their on-screen romance was a little too convincing to be staged. During shooting of the movie, rumors started that Powell and Sweeney were cheating on their significant others with each other. However, in a recent interview with Vanity Fair, Powell says that the rumors of the alleged affair, his words, not mine, was disorienting and unfair. So I think we can safely put the gossip to rest. And last but not least, this would not be Razorback Reels without mentioning Blondie herself, Taylor Swift. The Eras Tour movie has been in theaters since October, but Blondie announced on Monday that the movie would be coming to streaming platforms to rent on her 34th birthday, December 13th. She also announced that there would be added footage of her songs Wildest Dreams, The Archer, and Long Live included in the extended version of the film. And that's all I have for you guys today. Signing off for my last report of the fall semester, I'm Ani Olivas.
Thanks, Ani, for shining light on the stars of La La Land. So I think my favorite movie of the year has probably been The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I was really skeptical when the book came out. I still have not read it, but I'm hoping to over winter break because I was like, this seems like a cash grab, but I should have trusted Suzanne. The movie was amazing, and I think it had a lot to add to the message of the Hunger Games. So I so badly want to go see it again, and I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, I got to go see it for sure. Well, after the break, we'll be taking a walk down memory lane. Stick around to get all wrapped up in the past.
Welcome back to our final segment of the year. As we all know, today is a national holiday for annoying people, Spotify Wrapped Day.
In celebration, we have our in-studio reporter, Drew Chamberlain, to recap this year's biggest moments in pop culture that made us laugh, cry, or jump for joy.
How's it going, Razorbacks? My name is Drew Chamberlain, and I'm here to recap this year's biggest moments in pop culture. Now, before you dread opening your social media to all your friends' horrible taste in music, like Gigi said a second ago, let's look at one of the recaps you won't get sick of. Now, starting off this year, one of the greatest R&B musicians made her glorious return at this year's Super Bowl. Rihanna performed all her hits and gave one of the most memorable halftime performances in recent years, and the cherry on top, the ending revealing that she was in fact pregnant with her second child with A$AP Rocky. Next, how can we not mention the biggest promotional material for two movies that the world has ever seen? Barbenheimer, a play on both of Christopher Nolan's historical drama Oppenheimer and Greta Gerwig's Barbie. The sheer polar opposite themes of the movie started a flame of memes across the internet, causing both films to be the center of movie talk for an entire summer. I still remember people sharing which one they saw first or if they saw a double feature, and everyone dressing up for the occasion. Both movies were box office powerhouses, and it made an incredible return to the movie theaters. Arguably, the most confusing trend on our recap is the McDonald's Grimace Shake. The largest fast food chain in the world decided to release a purple milkshake in honor of the birthday of one of their mascots, Grimace. I apologize. I'm so sorry. What McDonald's PR team could have never predicted was this year absurd. Unfortunately, I find this photo too humorous to even continue. If we could just go to the next one on our story, we're just going to cut completely past the Grimace Shake one because, unfortunately, it's just too hilarious to talk about and too absurd. Last but not least, we recap the fact that history is doomed to repeat itself, that Titanic sank 111 years ago. And so instead of letting it sit at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, Stockton Rush, CEO of OceanGate, led an expedition with 4 people to view the sunken ship in a submersible. However, long before the voyage, safety concerns were brought up about the vessel and the fact that its navigation system was made up using a video game controller. While the story has a tragic ending and those within the vessel unfortunately perished, it set off one of the most should-have-seen-that-coming moments in many years. That was your very giggly, laughy 2023 Reels Wrapped. What do you think was left off our Wrapped list? Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, LeBron James breaking the NBA all-time scoring record, Elon Musk buying Twitter and changing it to X. Feel free to comment on our social media pages and let us know. Reporting for Razorback Reels, very laughily, I'm Drew Chamberlain.
Thank you for giving us the biggest hits of the year so far, Drew. And that is a wrap on our 2023 season. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Razorback_Reels. I'm Konner Marsh.
For the final time this semester, I'm Gigi Kraemer. Have a wonderful winter break. We'll see you next semester.